everybody doing? I know we probably don't have many in here yet. Right now I see a few. It's like people are trickling in. I hope everybody is ready for tonight. I'm ready but sad. I'm ready but sad because I love my time with you guys and with Randall and seeing the drawings and just, I don't know. This has been so, like, honestly, out of all the events I've done, I think this probably has to be one of my favorites because I tell you, I know you're not from the Bob Ross era, but like my little elementary heart, I watched him so much and he was so just inspiring, and when I watch and listen to you draw, it's the same thing. So just full inspiration.
Hello.
All right, so let me just say hey to, whoa, what did I don't know what, I didn't touch nothing. I swear I didn't touch nothing. I did, but I didn't. I'm gonna say hey to everybody. Hey, Sadrina. I have no idea if I said that right. Hey, Cindy and Bonnie and Brenda and Aaron and Nicole, Tammy, Marion, Jen Does Diamonds, Jenny Just Diamond Paint, Tijuana, also known as Karina, Nancy, Catherine, hey, Kaden, Joanna, Morgana, Robin, Kylie, Sparkling Diamonds, Jen M, Diamond Days, Grinchville 1, Sherilyn, and Liz. How's everybody? Oh, it looks like we've got Jess. Hold on, let me let Jess in. Hello, Jess.
Hi, Jess.
StreamYard not being nice.
Yeah, sometimes StreamYard can just be a woo-hoo head. Hey, Berta. So, yes, Berta, she goes to me for technical help. I don't know why Kara comes to me because, like, I can figure out some stuff. I can. I play with it. That's how I get my technical stuff. I play with it and I make it work. Hey, Sandy and Dawn, how are y'all? Well, I want to show y'all this. I showed Randall, but I stayed up last night. I knew I had to go to work today, but I didn't care. I was on the final stretch. And okay, well, see, I just lied. Because I didn't realize this. Oh my gosh, y'all. I have a few more drills to play. I was so excited that I was finished. And then I'm like touching it and going, wait a second, something don't seem right. That's okay. That'll take like a few seconds. I'll actually be able to do that while I'm sitting here. But I thought I would show y'all. I can't even get the whole thing on here, but y'all look at it. Oh my God, I just love it. If y'all don't know what this one is Gathering of Dragons and Draglings.
Yes.
And it's just so large.
It is.
But now I gotta fix that spot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Berta, I hope you're fine.
Uh-oh. What Berta do? Berta, what'd you do?
She fell out of her chair.
Woman, what am I gonna do with you, Berta? Be careful. Hey, Sue. Hey, Diamond Painting Die Hard and Peggy, Cynthia, John. Oh, thank you. Carolyn, how are you? Well, Berta hadn't told us she's fine. Berta, you better be fine, girl. Because we got to see you at the retreat, and I can't see you if you is hurting. Oh, hey, that's a new one. You're new. Yay. Flip-flops and lollipops. Your first 6 DA kits were Randall Spangler. Look at that, Randall.
Wow, thank you.
First ever kits were yours.
Wow, great. I want to remind everyone
that is so awesome.
Tonight is the grand prize drawing. We're going to do it a little later in the hour, before 8 o'clock. And I want to show you what it's going to be. This is, I get a lot of reflections off the glass. It's all framed up. This is an original drawing.
Oh, wow.
It's not
Hold
real.
on, let me
It's kind of a
Put
small
you
piece,
bigger.
but it's a very special piece, and I want to show you why. This is
No, no,
the original
no.
drawing to the
Oh,
opening
wow.
page of my first children's book. So whoever wins tonight will get the original drawing to it. It's signed. The back of it is signed, and I will make a note on the back of it also where it came from, that it is part of the children's book. So that makes it a really special piece.
That makes it a super special piece, y'all. Original.
Yes, original drawing.
There's my bestie. Hey, my bestie. Kara is in the house. Now, we do have something we are going to do here at the beginning is y'all did a week 4, and we do have the final DAC gift card, and we are going to give that away. And by the way, Kara, Berta says that she cannot believe that you come to me. She's trying to ruminate on the fact that you come to me for technical support. I do know what I'm talking about when it comes to technology. I play. All right. So I figure before we get into Randall showing us what all we're going to do, I guess it would help if I pulled back up the spreadsheet, right? Okay. So we didn't have as many entries, surprisingly enough, for the 4th week, but that just means more chance for everybody to win that 4th and final DAC gift card, right?
Yeah, better chance.
That's better chance. And y'all, they keep coming out with more stuff. And hey, y'all better have gone when y'all voted. Y'all better have gone and voted on Spangler's piece, because I know I did. And I said every one of them. You are not a techno dunce, Kara. Hey, Tanya, how are you? Thank you, Cynthia. Appreciate you doing all that. Okay, so we have Randall from numbers 151 to 187.
Okay.
And that's for the
for the gift certificate. Okay. How about let's just go with number 151.
151. I have to double check real quick to see if she won already. Hold on, let me just double check. 1, 2, 3. Nope, she hasn't. So, and I saw her I saw her in a chat. I'm hoping she was in Kara's live. So let's hope she jumped on over here. So the winner for week 4, $50 gift card to DAC is Carol Lyon. Woo!
Congratulations, Carol.
Congratulations.
Carol, I'm dying to know if you're in the chat, because I could have swore I saw you somewhere. Let's see.
Yeah. Carolyn Lyon is in here.
Okay, yay. Oh, Christine Mosklau said, Randall is so sweet giving away these paintings. I haven't participated in this event, just watching the lives. Cannot draw. Oh, you're so sweet. Let's see. I said Sadrina's name right. Yay! I'm always worried about. Holy cow,
She actually,
Carolyn! Yay! She says, "Holy cow! Heck yeah, I'm here!" Well, I am so happy. Congratulations, Carolyn. She has been a huge supporter of the Facebook group, the channel, and Randall. And I'm just so. Oh, she said I scared my dog. I screamed so loud. Hey, Carolyn, you got you $50 to be able to get you some more Spangler stuff. So, congratulations. And I will get that information to my lady, and she's usually pretty quick about getting up there. All right, so I have talked enough, and so I am going to turn it so that Mr. Spangler is front and center. If I can remember not to hit the wrong button.
Okay, I am
I think I
going
hit the yeah, I hit the right button. Yeah.
my camera around so we can see what I'm working on. Well, now this, as if you've watched it in the last 2 weeks, you'll recognize this page with the pieces. So real quick, just for people that may not have been here before, I'm just going to start with the real basic here of what I started with here was a circle to kind of show you how I draw my dragons. I start with the circle here, a little smaller circle for the leg, almost a light bulb shape for the shape of the body. Same thing for the head, a circle there, and then kind of a square nose, and then add the arms, or like an oval there, an oval there, another arm behind it, the feet, and the tail. You just kind of make it as long as you want it to be. So anyway, that and same down here. The circle for the head, and then I did kind of a square thing here for the end of his nose, and then the lines going back, and then you draw the eyes in and give him a smile if you want him to have a smile. So anyway, that's just kind of a quick review, and then this one was the same idea of how I constructed a dragon, except I made the eyes different shapes and made the nose different shapes and added different dragony things to it and lots of fun colors. So anyway, so the plan is this evening, since we've covered a lot of those things, and I would love to hear questions from anyone, if anyone has questions. I thought what I would do would get a piece of the paper that I normally work on, and this is it here. I hope the lighting is good enough. I'm going to adjust it just a little bit. I just want to show you how I use all of those things I've shown you to create my final piece of artwork. I do like to draw on a tan colored paper. This paper is made by Crescent. They make matte board, and it is called a museum board. And the color, this color is called Desert Sand. But it's just kind of a color I've gotten used to working on. So what I'm doing here, I'm kind of in a spring mood today because it's, we've gotten into the 70s here for the last couple days. And for Kansas City, that's the warmest we've been. And it's absolutely wonderful. So since I feel like spring, I thought maybe I would do a piece called Spring Planting. So the draglings are going to be out planting their garden is basically what it's going to be. So, I just kind of cut out a piece of paper this shape. And I first started with, if they're going to dig a hole, that was probably going to be like the center of the picture, the main focal point. So basically, here's where the hole would be. And then I wanted one of the draglings is going to be on this side, and he's going to be holding. They shovel with a big spoon, kind of like a teaspoon or a tablespoon, I suppose it would be a little bigger spoon, because it fits their proportions real well. So, as you can see, kind of like I showed you before, this is the circle of the body for the dragling. Here is a leg over here. Here will be how it kind of tapers up to his head. Again, kind of that light bulb shape there. And then his head, circle there for the head, square here, and going up. So from there, I wanted to draw in. I felt like the spoon should be kind of coming down this direction towards a hole across his body, because his body's going that way. I want the movement to kind of go this direction. So one arm, and I'm using my ovals to create the arms. One arm is kind of his elbows up in the air, and his forearm is here, kind of wrapped around the top of the spoon. And this is his chest here. So the other arm is coming from the other side of him. So there's kind of the top part of the arm and the front part of the arm, and his hand will be right here on the spoon. And I'll draw a little circle just to indicate where his hand is too. So, and then the spoon will have a little bit of a curve to it instead of being absolutely straight. Kind of goes down like that. And here's the bottom of the spoon. And this would be the top of the spoon. I want the top to be showing kind of like that. So, and I figured the spoon is going to be full of dirt. He's about ready to shovel apart some dirt out of the hole. And this is his back leg. And his feet are going to be right generally in that area. And drawing real loose like this with just general shapes gives me an idea where everything's going to be. And then I go back in and we'll start adding details. So over here, I figured this is probably Dewey. Dagmar's she's she knows better than to do too much digging. She'd rather watch Dewey do it. So anyway, she's just holding her spoon up here. And of course, she's going to be standing there munching on a chocolate chip cookie. So this thing here is going to be a half-eaten chocolate chip cookie. But as you can see, here is the body. Here's one leg here. The other leg, I think I'll have it kind of, maybe sticking out this, just coming around this way. And here is the shape of the body. And again, kind of the square of the face, the roundness there. And then, like I say, the arm back here is going to be it's a little tricky when their arm is kind of coming forward. You kind of get a foreshortened thing here on the forearm. But there's the back arm. The top part of the arm there. And same over here. The arm's going to be there. I like to draw it in, even though the cookie's going to be kind of in front of it. That even though I will probably erase any part that will be behind the cookie, if you kind of draw it in lightly, it makes it look more realistic to see where the arm actually is. And then as you look at it, it looks like the arm really does go behind the cookie and connect to the body where it's supposed to. This side isn't quite right yet, but I'll get to it. So anyway, so that's generally what I do. And this, like I say, this will be the hole they're digging. And of course it's, and this is Dagmar's one of her feet here. And there will be piles of dirt kind of piled around the edge of the hole. So anyway, so since it's planting season, they need stuff to plant. So I thought right over here would be a good place for a flower pot. I like good old fashioned clay pots. It kind of feels better than the little square plastic pots that most plants come in anymore. I want it to feel kind of, I don't know, a little more old fashioned, a little more way things used to be. And here is Dewey's tail is going to be going back here. And then there'll be a plant coming out of here. I'm not sure what kind of plant it is. I don't know if it'd be a pepper or tomato. So I just generally draw some strokes and some leaves coming out. So I know there's going to be a plant coming out of there. That's just kind of how I like to start things. And also when I'm doing the clay pot, you notice I like to keep my perspective pretty even to where you're kind of just barely seeing the top of it. And so the curve, you draw your oval for the top. So this top curve at the top edge of the clay pot will be the same curve as that. And down here at the bottom, you got the very same curve going there too. That makes it look round. So then the other thing I was thinking about, besides potted plants, would be maybe some seed packets. So right down here in the foreground, I'm going to have some seed packets. And by the time I'm finished, the seed packets will have, how some of them are very decorative and they'll have the name of the seed on it and maybe a little picture of either the tomato plant or the carrots or whatever that they are planting. So I will decorate the front of these packets before this whole piece is finished. And over here will be some more seed packets. And then another little clay pot with another plant in it. This kind of balances everything out. And laying the seed packets down here added, kind of showing the perspective of them, kind of brings your eye into the center of the picture right here.
Hayden
So,
says, do tulips for spring.
yes, good idea. Good idea, because I do want colors in here. So yes, that would be a great thing. What I might do would be put some tulips and some flowers behind the draglings. One thing I like to do, and you'll see in quite a few of my pieces, if it's a green dragon, I like to put a contrasting color behind it, either something real dark or maybe a red or an orange or something that contrasts with the green that kind of makes the dragon pop. So behind there would be a perfect place. Here, his ears will be kind of probably going like that.
Sherilyn, I hope I said that right. She said, I could see the draglings trying to plant some cocoa seeds to try and make some chocolate chips.
Yes, I thought about that because right here is going to be a little bag of chocolate chips, just in case they want to plant them. So
And
that's
Christine,
kind of
while we've got just a small second, um, she said she goes, I know I can't be the only one eyeing the dragling on wheels at the top of his table. Is that a
oh, the
dragling on
edge.
wheels?
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. There's a piece, and it is in the back of the Draglings Bedtime Storybook, which is available on my website. The very last image in it has, I've got to find the last image. Where's it at? Where's it at? This is where the Draglings, this piece called Sleepy Time. I don't believe this has ever been made into a diamond painting yet.
No,
But
not yet.
there is the dragling in there. And I've always wanted someone to make one of those for me. And I don't have tools to do that. So a friend of mine made one for me. He cut out all the pieces and brought it to me, and I painted it. So as you can
Oh my
see, just
gosh.
cut a piece of wood, and I painted it with acrylic paints. And the back wheel, the center of it is offset. So the idea is if you were pulling it with a string, the back end would go up and down.
Oh, that is so
So,
cute.
Wow, that is so cute.
so anyway, I don't make those to sell. It's just kind of something on my own. But that's what that is up there.
That is so precious.
Didn't realize I was getting all that extra stuff on I've got so much stuff piled on my drawing table. I do have a
And
tendency to pile it.
Carolyn, you're getting snow, and probably me and Brandy are getting the tornadoes.
Oh my gosh, tonight?
And
I,
we had on last week, and I have some coming in Wednesday and Thursday.
Oh no.
yeah,
Oh,
we're supposed to have some coming in towards the weekend.
Got to be very careful of those, definitely. It's amazing how many there have been this year.
Yeah, that is true.
So anyway, so I'm going to go back to Dewey.
Do we?
Start
Okay.
drawing in a few details to kind of show how I do it. My little draglings have kind of round knobs on their round noses, two round pieces. So I like to draw those in. And then I go up here. Of course, now remember, I've drawn these hundreds of times, so I know where the eye is compared to the nose. And over here is part of an eye. And then here will be the little nostrils are right there. And then this would be kind of his upper lip. Okay, and then there's his bottom lip. So here's one of the fun things to do with your dragon, no matter if it's these dragons or your own dragon, is whatever you do with the mouth makes such a difference. Dagmar eating the chocolate chip cookie is going to have a big smile on her face. Dewey doing the work is going to be kind of, see how I make the mouth kind of curve, kind of like he's really like, oh, trying to dig a hole and not real happy about doing all
It's
this.
draining.
Yes, kind of make him look a little stressed there, just by the little curve of his mouth. And
So
go ahead.
I was just saying, so Sherry, you're getting it before we do. So And Tanya, I'm close to Tennessee, so I know what you mean.
We've been very lucky here in Kansas City. Everything has kind of gone east of us, but there are times when the tornadoes come and hit us directly.
Yeah, Arkansas
Well, no,
got
we
hit
can't have that
really hard.
happen. That our
No.
we gotta preserve that area over there.
Yes. Well, we do have basements, which is really wonderful. I can't imagine not having one. That's where I am right now. It's downstairs in my studio space. So as you can see, and then to make the drag give him a little more or a lot more personality, and he's looking down at what he's doing, I start drawing the eye in.
Diane, you're not late, sweetheart. You're perfectly fine.
Anyway.
I just love looking at his little eyes come to life.
Yeah, you can see how just drawing the eyes in and doing the mouth has given him all kinds of personality. Before it was just kind of empty, like this little dragling doesn't have any personality yet, but she will. She'll be there. Then his arm is coming out to the side of him here, and his forearm is coming off of that, and we're kind of wrapping around. There's maybe one finger up here on this side of the spoon and another finger underneath. So the spoon, and then I even like to do the little details such as the spoon, since it is metal and the metal is fairly thick. I like to draw the spoon in, but as you can see also before I finish that, all the fine lines I draw and all these little lines and how I'm constantly adjusting where my final lines are going to be. So that's just the way I like to draw. I just like to do all those things. And then before I do painting, I'll go in and erase some of them. I never get them all erased, but my color covers up a lot of the fine lines. And that's why I like to draw very lightly, not much pressure on the pencil. So anyway, back to the handle of the spoon. I like to show that little edge on it. That kind of shows that the edge, the spoon is kind of going that direction, the angle of where she's holding it.
Ah.
He's holding it, and I like to keep that. And then a spoon will go down and along there, and even the edge here will be there.
Sadrina wants to know, she said, I absolutely love sunflowers. They're beautiful flowers. May I ask how long does one of your pieces tend to take to complete?
Well, I wish I had a good handle or answer for that. I start pieces like this, and I just work on it off and on until it's done. Now, this one, not being a huge piece, will not take too much time. And honestly, I wish I could even estimate. I've just never paid attention to how long a piece has taken. I guess I should time one at some point.
Well, because you kind of go back and forth working on it, right? Like you'll work on it and then you'll, yeah.
Yes. I may work on it for a month, but I may only actually spend 5 days working on it or something. So here's his stomach.
Now, have you ever gotten from that piece? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, have you ever gotten where you've gotten all your drawing done, but before you start painting, have decided to change something in the drawing?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I that's one reason I'd like to work on a piece for a long period of time, because it gives me a chance to make adjustments in it and to maybe figure out what colors, because right now I don't know exactly. I've got some general ideas of colors. I know what color the clay pots will be. I know what color, will be green leaves on the plants. What I may do is actually look up some, say, a pepper plant or a tomato plant and look at the shapes of their leaves and actually draw it in so it's a recognizable plant. And then, like I said, behind them, I can have flowers. Maybe it's springtime and the tulips are already popping up, and so they've got color behind them. and then they're ready to start planting their garden. So, and then
Okay.
here. So I like to put his, get his, actually now as I'm drawing, first I was going to have his hand on top of the spoon. I think it would make more sense if this hand was underneath the spoon. He could be lifting with it. So I try to get those type of things correct. It just makes the whole picture work more. If you can get those kind of little details of this is how the dragling would be lifting the spoon and digging a hole with it. Just like that.
Tanya, not all the draglings have a name, but there's 3 that I can think of off the top of my head, which is Robert, Dagmar, and Dewey.
Yes.
And then there's Eldar.
Yeah,
Well, Eldar
Eldar.
is a really big one. Yes.
Is there any more?
That's the names right now.
Yeah.
I am working on another piece, and it's got a different dragon in it, and it's a dragon, and it's going to be basically a what would I call it? A library, in a kind of in a stone castle. That's hard to describe. The big dragon is actually coming out of the door. Oops, I'm sorry about shaking the camera there. Every once in a while my hand hits it because I'm kind of drawing underneath the camera here. But anyway, unfortunately I do not have one of those here. I can show you what it is. But anyway, it's a big dragon and he needs a name. And I've been trying to come up with a name. And what I have been doing is I come up with a whole list of names and then I start Googling them just to make sure that no one else out there has a dragon. Maybe there's books with dragon of that name. And, I don't want to impose on anyone else's territory as far as using someone else's dragon's names. So I'm trying to come up with a name that no one else is using. So it takes a bit to keep going through and trying names. But anyway.
What about Petey?
Petey?
Mm-hmm.
Petey's a nice name. Disney had, is it Pete's Dragon?
Pete's Dragon, yeah.
Yeah, there was a movie
That's
called
too
Yeah.
similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved Pete's Dragon. I remember that one.
Yeah, I do too. That was probably before your time, Jess, though, because that was way back when they first put it out I believe it was in the 60s, I think.
I've seen
And it was
that
funny
movie.
because the dragon's name was Elliot, but Pete was Elliot's friend.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't know all that. I just think of Pete's Dragon. So anyway, you can see how Dewey is really coming to shape here. And even though I'm going to put plants in front of it, I went ahead and drew his tail in, and I probably will have a bag of chocolate chips over part of his foot, but I like to draw it in just kind of so I know where it's all at. So I think what I want to do here in just a moment, maybe I'll go ahead and draw Dagmar's head in. I'm going to go ahead and pull my watercolors out, and I'm going to start adding some color to this. So you can kind of see how it comes together. I get as much done on it tonight as possible, and I'm just going to work on the draglings themselves and not everything around it. But again, here's the big nostrils, the nose, the nostrils, the upper lip, the bottom lip. Very happy and smiling, maybe even have the mouth open a little bit because she just took a bite of cookie. And then go back here, and here's the back part of the head. I don't know if you can see it, but there are kitty hairs floating across my picture.
Probably from Elizabeth.
Definitely. And here is the other eye. And then the eyebrows, and then the ears will be a little bigger up here.
Salzar.
Pardon?
I can't say that name.
Salazar.
Yeah.
Ah, Salazar.
I can't say the say her name. That said
Cedrina.
Cedrina. Okay.
Ah, Salazar.
I know there's a couple of questions. We've had Cindy wanted to know, do you have a story behind each picture you start, whether or not it's in a story to help you with the details?
I don't know if I have a complete story. This one is just kind of like I say, based on springtime and gardening and planting, and as that goes together, you can kind of just use your imagination. I just kind of think of things that they might be doing, or why they're out there doing it.
Okay.
But nothing more than the basic story of the draglings. They love their cookies, they love their chocolate chips. Actually, they love any kind of chocolate. So anyway,
And
so
then,
there's generally that dragling. But I'm going to grab my watercolors here, and
we had another question. Sherry said, years ago, when you released some dragons for sale, did you name any of those, or did the manufacturer name the different baby dragons?
oh no, I named all of them. Yes,
Okay.
yes, we came up with the names. Actually, my Dagmar and Dewey, when I first created those, and this would have been, oh my gosh, I don't know how many years ago, 30 years ago, maybe more. I started with, I got a book of baby names and just started looking up baby names. And I kind of wanted something that started with D because it went with dragon or dragling also. And coming up with the name for the name draglings for them. And that came from the idea of ducklings or goslings, I believe, or
Oh,
geese. So it just made sense to call them draglings. So you can see what I'm starting with the watercolor. I'm using kind of a yellow green, and again, I'm not putting it on real heavy. I like to, just like the pencil drawings, I like to start light and build up the color. It's easier to build up the color than put on everything real dark and then try to take color back off. I keep bumping my camera here. So
Sue says a fence around their garden plot.
that would be a good idea. I might, of course, they're so small. I mightn't be able to. I'll see once I get some flowers in if there might be room to put maybe like a picket fence or something back there.
That'd
That
be
would
cute.
that would be something that would kind of come in, at the end as I figure these things out. So I'm painting in anywhere that the dragon is going to have green on him. And you can see I'm kind of painting over all those fine lines, and they will just disappear under the paint. And then on top of the paint will go the colored pencil. So
I
there's
just love, look at him. He's already coming to life.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing how it just comes to life the more you get paint and color to it.
And I now have a cat hair in my brush. Take the cat hair out. But
And I like how you go kind of dark when you first start, like if you're going in one of the lines,
mm-hmm.
and then you get lighter. That's kind of neat.
Yeah, as you put more paint, and you can also see. I'm kind of started one subject, but relating to that, I don't put a huge amount of water on my brush either. You can see, and it's a slightly different shade of green, but that's not going to matter. It'll all come out in the end the same. But it's not a huge amount of water. I'm almost drawing with it. Now I've never used markers.
Oh,
But I think with the smaller amount, just the right amount of water, it almost acts like a marker would act, I think, because I can almost draw with it. And I
okay.
see how it kind of goes around, and I'm going to do a little bit here, and then I'll go back and start adding another layer of a green to darken up some edges. I'm kind of mixing my shade of green here. That's why it comes out a little different each time I bring the brush up. Sometimes a little darker, sometimes a little lighter, but it's really just a nice base color. So when the watercolor gets on there and it starts drying, or dries completely actually, before I start putting colored pencil on it, the colored pencils will even out the green tones. So, okay, now I'm going to do a little bit darker green to get a little more shading on it. You just kind of figure the light is coming from above. So anything that's kind of underneath, like the bottom of the leg there, the bottom of the tail here, we have a little more shading. And over on this side, this back leg will be a little darker. And underneath the bottom edge of the arm, and even though there's kind of a sharp edge there, as I work on it, that will be blended in, and it won't be a sharp edge when we're done.
Is there
And,
something that you do that help, or that you can do to help, like looking at shadows so that you kind of know how light hits to know where shadows would hit?
not really. I just the idea of just the knowing that light comes from, I figured this is going to be in the daytime, that light would be coming from above and down. So, anything on the underneath side is going to be a little darker and a little more shadowed than something on the top edge. And that gives everything shape. It kind of gives the legs and stuff a roundness and shape when you do that. And same with the nose. Those things put a little bit of darker air there. And then the front, since he's kind of leaning down a little bit, and the sides of the face.
Grinchfield said, it's fascinating watching artists create.
Ah.
And then we have a question. How about giving her a bonnet?
Oh, now that's a clever idea. I had never thought about that. A bonnet. Goodness, how would I do a bonnet? I would
Well,
have
it could have
to.
holes for her little ears.
Yeah, it would have to. I have put hats on them before. And I have to make holes for the ears. That's a thought. I think before I do that, since I'm not real familiar with what bonnets look like, I would need to Google it and just look at different types of bonnets and what they might look like, and kind of sketch it in and see if it kind of works with the dragon's head, because since the dragon's head is quite different than a person's head, I have to make
Yep.
sure I can make it fit and make it look right. But that's a really good idea. So anyway.
And you can, or even a big brim hat, because they're in the heat.
Yes,
So,
a straw hat would have been a good idea too. Yes.
yeah.
I think, my grandfather used to wear a straw hat all the time when he would go out and work, and he lived on a farm, and he would wear this old straw hat. That's
Yeah,
really
mine did too. He had his garden out there, and he always had his straw hat that had those little things that were up underneath his chin, so he could push it up or something to hold it onto his head.
Oh, yes, yes. Okay, so I'm going to stop with the green right there, and I'm going to move real quick here because time goes by so fast. So I went to a little bit of a yellow ochre, and I still had a little bit of green on my brush. So these areas would be more of a tan, brownish tan color, even though right now they're a little bit of a greenish tan. But again, that will change as I do the colored pencil on top. But as you can see, I like to put all the watercolor in just as a nice base color to the whole piece. Same with the stomach and the hands, get the base color. So. But you can see how he's really come to life.
Yes. And I just love looking at his little knee patches. It just makes me so happy.
Yeah. Yeah, I started putting knees on them years and years ago, and I thought my draglins just have knees. That's just the way it is. They kind of wore the scales off. I'm going to kind of do very loosely on this because what I would really like to do, I hope I can get it, it'll dry quick enough here to do just a little bit of colored pencil on here before we're done, at least on the green part around the face. So I do a little bit. See here, I start going in with a little bit darker. That's maybe a little too dark of a brown, again, to do the shading underneath. But if I do a little dark, it will be corrected or lightened up. See just a little bit of water on the brush without much color, kind of lifts that color and spreads it around more so it doesn't look quite as dark. But there'll be there's a little shadow underneath his chin and a little shadow on the bottom of each of those ridges. So, okay. I am going to jump over to see what, the problem, you have to really watch if you're doing this depends on the type of paper. If it's slightly wet from the watercolor, your colored pencils will probably tear the paper. This is a real heavy board. You can see it's pretty thick and very stiff. And I almost forgot to say hi to Leslie and Emily if they're watching tonight. And
hey, Leslie and Emily.
Hey, y'all.
So again, with the colored pencil, I'm working with a little lighter color, and kind of just go in as around the edges, and kind of as just light, very lightly drawing it on there. Okay. So, and I have certain colors I like to use on the draglings when it comes to the colored pencil. This color here is apple green, and these are Prismacolors in case anyone's wondering. And I draw it kind of light. I like everything else. I don't put much pressure on there, just kind of build it up, which also helps. If your paper's still a little damp, which this is, it's less likely to kind of sink into the paper and tear. But you can see I start kind of outlining the eyes, a little more shading where the nostrils are, go around the lip, and a little bit of shading because the eye kind of, this part of the nose kind of sinks down. So a little shading there to make it feel like it does that. And a little there. And then go to maybe a darker green. This pencil's a little short, but it still works. I hate to waste pencils. Now this is a dark green. So get the nostrils more there. You can do a little more outlining around it and right around the eyes a little more. And then very lightly along the edges to kind of give it a little more shape. But I just kind of go over it and over it and over it and adding colors. And then these areas like the edges and such, I start putting a little more pressure to give it a nice outline and really kind of see how he's starting to have a good shape and good definition to the face there. And
Speaking of shading, Peggy Grand says, I'm working on Easter Dragon now and appreciate the shading much more since these drawing lessons.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, they did that piece has so many great colors. Definitely springtime, Easter colors. That was kind of the point of that whole piece when I did it. And of course,
I
now
love that
piece.
piece.
The story behind that piece is my draglings love chocolate, and what better way to get chocolate eggs, chocolate bunnies, than dress up like the Easter dragon.
They were getting them some chocolate.
They were.
I got mine in Saturday.
I've seen a couple.
I had mine sitting here.
I've seen a couple of people having them finished. Um, and so again, and I'm going to go in with cream now. I'm going to work as much as I can on this head in the last few minutes here to kind of show you. Now I'm adding a little more highlights. I might add a little more green to the head too, but I want to kind of rush through this here. See, I'm adding the highlights on kind of the high points of the head, and see how that kind of starts giving it more shape there.
And also let me know when you want to do the final grand prize drawing.
Well, we're getting down there towards 8 o'clock. So anytime you want, I can sit here and just
Okay, because you can still be drawing while we
I
do it.
will. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. I'm going to work on the eyes a little bit so you can kind of see the dragon come alive here. They have blue eyes.
Okay. Well, we have a total of 187 entries altogether.
Okay. So just let me know. Do I need to pick a number, or what would you like me to do?
Yes. Pick a number between 1 and 187.
Okay, 1 and 187. How about, let's see. What sounds like a good number? For some reason, 79 is in my head. So 79 will be the number.
All right. So let me go down here to 79. All right. And I'm going to put a different color for this one. I'll put a dragon green. That's what I'm doing. I'm choosing a green. I have no idea if this person is in the chat, but you want to remind them what they're winning, or do you want me to?
I can do that. The grand prize is this drawing, original drawing. This was done for my first children's book. It's inside the front cover, the Dragling's Bedtime Story, which is on the website, along with the ABC book, the Dragling's ABC book, and a link to the Dragling's coloring book, which is on Amazon. So this is the original drawing. I've signed it here. I've actually cut out around the original drawing, put a little spacer behind it, mounted it on some linen fabric mat board here, and it's framed behind glass, signed on the back. And I will make a note that this piece is the original artwork for the first page of the book. So it's a real special piece.
And that looks so good the way you got it 3D there too. All right. Well, let's see if our winner is in the chat. But the winner of that original drawing is Leona Wilcox.
Okay. Congratulations,
I have
Leona.
no idea. Congratulations, hon.
Okay, now a little more here.
I haven't seen anybody say anything, so I'm assuming Leona is not in the chat. But I'll be able to. We'll get up with her.
Yeah.
Okay, well, make sure you send her my
There goes the
address.
white for the eye.
That is coming along so well.
Oh, thank you, thank you. This is the way I do them. I just keep going back and forth and back and forth. With different colors, and then normally I would be working all over with all the green areas as I'm doing the face too. But I just want to focus in on the face since we're starting to run out of time here, and kind of just show you how it has developed from the very rough drawings of just my circles and little sketchy lines all over the place to this. a little bit of browns in here. And this is
I'm just totally entranced.
goldenrod is this
I
color.
know.
Favorite colors. I just love this color.
Goldenrod.
It's just kind of in between yellow ochre and burnt sienna, and it just kind of a nice brownish tone. See, I like to do kind of outlining with a little bit darker color. It starts to give the ears shape and definition, so it kind of pops out from the background. And same with under the chin. A little more there and there and down there. Now this is dewy, so, and see underneath here, I can feel that the paper is not completely dry. The colored pencils actually work better and what would I say, take to the paper better when it's totally dry compared to
Right.
right now. I can feel it just kind of sinking into the paper a little bit, and the color is not going on quite as strong as it would if it was dry. But it's still going on. So I like to give him maybe a little dimple, and then he'll get those 5 little things, little warts on his cheek is what I like to call them.
It's little dragon warts.
Yeah, he got 5, and Dagmar has 4 because she's a girl. She's prettier, so she only has 4 instead of 5. And then, so I have such a pile of colored pencils here. I lose colors down in my colored pencil box pretty easily. Cream is always a nice color. So what I was doing a moment ago was putting the shadow underneath the little warts, and then I used the cream to kind of put the highlight on them. See, it kind of makes them look like they're little bumps coming out. And then maybe a highlight, because his cheek is kind of round, so I'm going to give a little bit of a highlight to the top part of the cheek also. And then the top of the ear gets a little highlight, and this little ridge on the top of his head, I honestly don't know what that would be called. I don't know if there is a name for that on dragons, but
Miss Marion wanted to know if you could post a picture in the group once it's completed.
oh yes, sure can. Yes. And it'll take a while to complete it all, because the dragons are always the easy part. You can see in an hour's time how much I've done and how much more there is to do. This dragon, the clay pots, the seed packets will have, I'll probably turn it upside down so I can put the name of the seeds and draw a little design on the seed packets, and that'll take quite a bit of time. And then the plants all coming in here, and each plant and each leaf will need shading and maybe even some water droplets on it and things like that. So and then all this ground around here will probably be maybe some dirt, but small grass, maybe short grass or something going around the front edges here, possibly. So,
Well, you've definitely made a lot of progress in this small amount of time, though.
Well, I hope in these 5 live sessions, you can kind of see the basics of how you could draw, how I draw my dragons, just starting with shapes. And then last week I showed you how you can draw a dog, a cat, a bunny, whatever, just using those basic shapes. Or make it your own dragon. This dragon could have big giant ears. His eyes could be totally different. So you can just kind of have fun with it. And like I said last week, don't be too critical of your own work. I know most people will be. I am terribly critical of my own work. So it just kind of comes with the territory. But
yeah, I think we're our worst enemies when it comes to critiquing.
Yes, definitely. So anyway, I'm getting them a little ways here, and the face. I keep going back, and I keep adding more layers of shadows and shading on the side of the face. I just gives them a little more dimension. Um,
And the next event is July, and
yeah,
then November.
yes, definitely, definitely. And for that event, I will be also giving away another small original as a grand prize. I'm always constantly doing these little originals.
Well, we definitely love your. We love everything that you put out.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you.
And I
Thank you.
agree. The event did go fast, but it's been absolutely fabulous. I have certainly enjoyed it. I know you guys have really seemed to enjoy just watching him create.
So one last little thing, after I get my greens in, I like to go in with an indigo blue, which is a very dark blue, and just get that as kind of the outline, as like the darkest part of the greens. It just kind of gives some definition if you get very dark down in there, and you might even do it very lightly for some little bit of shading too. But see, like if you go around the eyes, it makes the eyes start to pop. I like to get started with a lighter blue in the middle on the eyes, and then a little bit darker blue around the edges, and kind of slightly blend in the edges. It just kind of gives the eye a little more life there.
You
So,
never know what the July event will look like, y'all. We haven't even started planning yet. Me and Brandy, there's no telling about us. Are you there, Brandy?
Oh no, I'm here. Sorry, I had a fry. I apologize. I was eating my fry. Wayne
Oh,
brought me my food in,
Uh-oh.
and I snuck a fry. Thank goodness the camera's not on me, so y'all couldn't see me eating it.
that's it.
It's just you just we don't get to eat very like fast. We have to eat very fast at work, and so you sometimes just don't have time to eat very much since you got to go fast.
What's eating at work?
It's because I had some mashed potatoes and only about like 2 teaspoons of it was all I had for that was my lunch.
Well,
So
we
anyway,
didn't have any patients today, so I got to eat lunch today.
you can kind of see what I've done here. Start with the real basic loose drawings and just keep building and building and building. And even as much as I've done on his head, it still needs more. I will probably do another light coating of green overall.
Oh,
But until it gets to a point where I think, oh, I think that's just about right. Now, this is a line called lime peel, and it's a nice yellow green. So sometimes I like to just go in with a light, very light over the whole thing. It just gives the green a little more depth, a little more richness uh, to the color. So basically, you just keep doing it until it gets to a point that you like the way it looks, and say that's just enough, and then you're done with it.
yeah. Well, Randall, and I didn't know if you
Okay.
knew it is 8:05.
Yes, I see that.
It goes by so quick.
It
Oh well, thank
really,
you, Sadrina. Well,
it
we've
really.
got more coming. I promise, sweetheart. You've got to give
I
me. I'm Southern. Everybody's sweetheart, honey, darling.
Yeah, I
I'm
was
gonna flip
Southern.
back around and so we can say
All
goodbye.
right, let me get us back here. So I just want to say to everybody, thank you guys for, coming and participating. Even if you weren't able to actually participate, just coming and watching and everything has been wonderful. And, Jess, thank you so much for coming on and everything. And Randall, like, seriously, thank you for devoting your time to us and showing us how to draw. And we just honestly, just watching you create and listening to you create and talk about them as you're drawing, like it's just fascinating.
Well, thank you. I've totally enjoyed this, and I have been looking at what people have been posting, and it's pretty amazing. It really is. Lots of you are doing just wonderful drawings, and looks like you're just having fun with it, which is kind of what it's all about.
And I think you've even inspired some of our younger artists, to start their
Good.
artistic journey.
That's good. Yes.
Yeah.
So I just want to say thank you guys all for coming. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, Randall, for everything that y'all do. And it's just been so much fun. And I hope that y'all have enjoyed. And just look out. We've got more on the way. So I am going to leave you like I always do. Reach for the stars, grab hold on, and never let go. Until the next time, bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.